Hello everyone, I've made another creation. This is the Addams Family clock tower seen in the 1991 movie, The Addams Family. This video is made in collaboration with Bentley House Minis. We chose a slightly different route than your typical crafting collaboration, since Ara, that's Bentley House Minis, works in 1/12 scale, and I work in 1/24 scale. We each made miniatures in each other's preferred scale and then sent them back to each other to do blind unboxings. So she ended up with my clock tower, and I ended up with, well, I'm not gonna tell you yet. My blind unboxing will be at the end of this video, so please watch how I made Ara's clock tower in the meantime. This is the first time I've ever drawn a miniatures design using AutoCAD. It was so detailed that I didn't want to do it any other way. I broke the design down into simple blocks to be glued together or carved away. You can see the blocks for the roof as well as the front and top view of the blocks for the house. The bulk of the house was made from this random assortment of square dowels. For example, I need a 16 by 16 by 12 millimeter block, so I cut out 4 total pieces 12 millimeters in length and glued them together to make the appropriate size. This 9 by 9 by 34.5 was cut from a 9 millimeter square dowel, 35.5 millimeters in length, always leaving a little extra to sand down to the exact dimension. Also, here's a tip. To get a straighter cut when sawing something, turn the piece back and forth between two sides. This allows the created cut marks to be locked into two axes and will mostly keep the blade from slanting in an unwanted direction. It's interesting to see how random shapes can be put together to form an actual structure. I'm also always conscious of what the best fit for each piece is. It looks so crisp and clean when it's sanded down perfectly. I also used my scaled lumber a lot for this project. I never want to go back to the way I was shaping wood before. I kept the pieces organized so I didn't have to go back and measure anything again. I glued everything starting from the center and made my way outward. The outside can be sanded down and squared up properly, but the inside, not so much. I used my right way, right angle to check for imperfections after sanding down the rough edges. Make the foundation next by tracing and filing down the proper shape, and fine-tuning it when glued on. Here, I'm adding a last-minute addition to the design that I forgot to incorporate, which is the future stoop. All the wood in this project was stained with this gray color. It looks green, but that fades after some time and merely accents the final product. And I always check the color against a different piece of wood before coloring the real thing. You might not be able to see it, but there are technically 3 different brands of wood being used in the piece I'm staining right now, and each brand takes the stain differently, and it's something that bothers me. So I'm complaining to you about my own decisions, really. You might think, hey, this is literally the Addams Family house in 1/288 scale, but there are a lot of subtle differences. One of them being the balcony that holds the clock, and the Tish and Gomez figures when the clock strikes 9. Another is that the dining room only has 1 window instead of 2 in the front view. Moving on, I carve out the Mansard style roof. This was not a simple thing to do. My best tool ended up being a rolled up piece of sandpaper that I would roll tighter or looser depending on the radius I wanted to use for the different curves of the roof. Chamfer the bottom edge to give the pieces more depth so we don't need to add trim later. The bigger portion of roof was made nearly the same way, except I had to remove that area the house was protruding into. I try to carve away from myself as much as possible, but still ended up cutting myself. You'll see me wearing a band-aid later. Make sure everything is centered properly so you have enough room to add spandrels later. There are 2 protrusions of the roof that need to be sanded down like a puzzle to fit the big roof. It doesn't have to be perfect, you can add a generous amount of wood glue when adhering it to fill the crack. I also used wood filler for the first time in this project for certain areas of this roof that I failed to get right the first time. The last things to add are the Gabled Dormers for the future windows. I made 6 for this house. You can print out little windows if you want, but I chose to create mine with real shutters, using sisal that I bought at my local craft store. I taped down tape onto wax paper and used the stickiness to easily manipulate the individual rows of sisal. Cover the sisal in wood glue and let it dry. I tested my method before doing it with the real thing. Now it peels off like a sticker. Paint the exposed side with watered down acrylics as well as another thin strand of sisal to create the mullions, and the windows are ready to be assembled. I made 18 windows in 3 different sizes and got better as I did more. After experimenting with a few different methods to make scalloped shingles, I ended up using a dotting tool to indent the pattern into the wood. I'm actually very pleased with how it came out. Before I painted the roof, I made the 1.5mm spandrels that are found in 3 different areas on the house. They're the same color as the roof, so I wanted to paint everything in one shot. I mixed different colors to get the dark green teal color my reference pictures seem to have. While everything dries, I stayed in the 0.53 by 0.53mm siding, the same gray color as before. Unexpectedly, the siding was the most intricate, time-consuming part of this whole project. But, of course, that means it's probably my favorite part. Protruding structures should have their siding done last. I added an offset design to the foundation. And filed out the door with protruding panels. Painted the same color as the roof and set it aside to dry. File down the 2 tapered columns that reside on the stoop. I painted the dining room windows. They were a little too intricate for my tired eyes at this point to do anything physical to them, and I definitely practiced with pencil first. After that, I put all the small details on. I decided to put roof cresting with the 0.3mm wire brush I have. It's in no way fancy, but it adds detail where detail is lacking. I cut them at 2mm lengths and placed them into holes I punctured with a needle tool. Now, to make this piece what it actually is, I made the clock next. I filed down 2 circles, both 14mm in diameter. I filed out a perfect circle into one of them, 11mm in diameter. I used an old Magic the Gathering plastic card sleeve to protect the clock face, which I printed out so the Roman numerals came out better than what I could even try to freehand. Finally, we can glue the roofs on. Glue on all your spandrels. And lastly, shade the entire piece with watered down acrylic paints. I always start on the back of a piece so I can get used to the colors and how it looks before making it the official color for the parts that everyone will see. Let that dry and the clock tower is done. But I'm too excited to see what's in my mystery box. Hello everyone. This is... I don't know. Is it weird that I'm uncomfortable calling myself Crack and Make Ruckus? Hey, sugar! Hey everybody, this is Karen. I'm gonna just call myself my real name, not Crack and Make Ruckus, because I'm not used to that yet. But this is Karen, and we did the collaboration, myself and Ara from Bentley House Minis. Definitely cut away our addresses. Sorry that I don't want you to know that information. I've had this for about a week and a half, probably 2 weeks, and I was super late on this collaboration. I'm very sorry, Ara, but I hope you liked your clock tower. You know, we switched our scales, so I made a 1/12 scale piece and she made a 1/24 scale piece, and then we were able to receive our appropriate scales in the mail. So yeah, this is gonna run on really long, and I probably shouldn't have it run on very long. I asked for several different things and she asked for several different things, and I chose the clock tower. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a bookshelf, so we shall see. So it says open from this side. I'm just gonna take a wild guess that that means open from this side. Yeah. Okay. You guys ready? Aw, it's got a letter. Give me 1 second. Let me read it real quick. I didn't send a letter. I feel really bad. I'm sorry. I sent you my dimensions. That's It says, I hope you like what I made for you. Instruction for the functional parts are on the back of this note. So, functional parts. Oh my god, if this opens and closes, you guys know I like functional things and interactive miniatures. This whole front piece is removable, so you can place items inside. What am I doing? Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, well I want to like get this box out the way. Oh, so tiny. Right, I just don't remember how small 1/24 is sometimes. Oh my god! This is so cute, I'm shaking! Oh, I love it! Oh no! Oh, I'm dying. Oh. Oh. Oh no! Oh man, let me bring it close to you guys. What? This is crazy. Oh, I'm so jealous that I haven't done any like actual furniture pieces yet. Y'all must hate me because this is cool. Oh no, I can't stop smiling. Look at the trim. Look at the trim on here. That's fantastic. Oh, I see. That's what she meant. Okay. I think she said the whole thing was removable. Yes. This is so cool. Wow. Ara, wow. Oh, I didn't sign mine either. Why am I horrible? Oh no. This is so cool. I'm about to cry. I've never done anything like this before. Your piece came out fantastic. It's exactly how I asked for it. I literally asked for like everything to be walnut. Whatever she decided to make, I wanted it to be walnut colored. And like I even told her about like the cross hatching that I liked, like, man, and really slight distressing, which she did perfectly. I mean, this is like, look at this. What What? What? Oh gosh. Oh no. Girl, we're gonna do another thing soon because I want another one of your miniatures. This is awesome. Oh, this part. The drawers. The drawers are my favorite. I love them so much. I can't wait to watch your tutorial. Please, please, go watch Ara. Like, go watch Bentley House Minis. She does fantastic work. I've learned so much about distressing that I never knew was possible. And she has such creativity with like vintage furniture. I can't even fathom like getting that from my head, because mine doesn't look like this. Yeah, please go watch her, guys. Please subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much, and it would be super cool if you could find your way over to Bentley House Minis and subscribe to her channel. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see miniatures before they come out on YouTube. Thank you always for your support. I'll see you soon. You can add a generous amount of wood glue to when in here. Whoa. This whole... What's wrong with me? This whole sentence is incorrect. Why is this so hard to say? I ended up using a dotting tool to indent the pattern into the... Well, gonna have to start over because you can hear my phone go off. Before... which I printed out so the room and... Oh my god. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can add a generous amount of wood glue when adhering it to the crack. Oh my god. I'm tired.